What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, 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 hey. Welcome, 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 welcome. We got a crowd in here today. What's going on, everybody? Everybody, everybody. We are here tonight. You are here with SBK, and we're going to have some modern man conversations today. Thank you. Happy Thursday. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I hope every one of you at the sound of my voice had a wonderful Sunday. And I am geared up with this Steel Reserve here. And we're going to have some fun tonight. But we're going to have some real conversations tonight, man. We got a treat for you. We got a treat for you. But first, let me salute the chat. If you're coming in, man, y'all hit the like button as you come in. Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. And I'm going to salute the chat. First off, we got Thrive and Glow with Joe. How you doing, bestie? Thank you for coming in. You heard what she said. Y'all like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. We got the lovely algorithm, Just Jay. How you doing, Just Jay? Hey, love. We got Gisela. Hey, Gisela. How you doing, love? Joe Brittany is back. Guess we found out who Joe Brittany is. Hey, Joe Brittany. What's going on? We got our attorney, Kevin Corpinen. What's going on, bro? What's going on? What's going on? We got the lovely T-Cat, the baddest artwork around. T-Cat, Commission Vision Diva. Hey, Ro. Hey, hey, hey. Who else we got? Hey, Lisa J. Stocks. How are you, love? How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And all of you ghost watchers out there and all you haters out there, man, what's up to y'all too? Because without y'all, there wouldn't be us. Without any haters, there wouldn't be players like myself. You know? You did? Thank you for coming through. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for coming through. We got a treat for you tonight. This young man that I'm about to bring up, I've taken a liking to this young man. And I have not known this young man for a long period of time, but I have grown to like him. We love him. He's just like a little brother, man. He's part of the family. Whether he likes it or not, he ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? He's a part of the family. But what's intrigued me about this young man is that he is very intelligent. He has talent. He's a very talented young man, very artistic, very thoughtful in his approach on things. I can't say it enough. Very intelligent young man. You know what I mean? And he has a story. You know what I mean? A lot of times, you know, when we tell our stories, whether it's hardship, whether it's triumph, whether, you know, sometimes things hold us back from telling the full story of how we come about. And so what's intrigued me about this young man I'm about to bring up is that his story is very, very much unique. He is here to tell it, which is the most important thing. And his story can move some people. You know what I mean? It could help you. It could help a person. It could inspire someone. But I wanted to personally give my platform to this young man because I wanted him to fully tell his story the way he wants to tell it without any type of restrictions or anything like that. And so I've heard him tell his story in bits and pieces and chats, but I want him to get the opportunity to tell his story and to tell it the way he wants to tell it. All right. And we want to promote his work that he does. This young man has a website. He has all sorts of things. We want to promote him, and we want him to give all that he has to offer, as far as his page and so forth, so on. And so without further ado, before I enter, what's up, Pick and Choose? What's up, bro? Salute to you. Salute. All the mods in the chat, we got content creators all in here, man. So mods, you guys put content creators page up in there, man. And we're not haters over here. We're not any haters. We got a lot of content creators. Hey, DR. Hey, love. We got a bunch of content creators in here. Lisa J. Stocks, Thrive and Glow with Joe, Pick and Choose. It's just ETB. I want to say shout out to her. She's on the ones and twos on the mic. So, but all you content creators out there, man, if you're a content creator and I rock with you, we're gonna put your channel in the link so we all support. We support each other over here. So no hate. So without further ado, I'm going to bring the man of the hour up, and here we go. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
What's good with you?
Thank you for having me on.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you on. We got Lionel Suggs. My bro, Lionel Suggs, the Messiah Complex. We got him up on here. He's got a story to tell, man. First of all, man, I thank you for coming up, man. Thank you for your time. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long period of time to get you up there, man, get you up here. But everything good with you? You ready?
Great, man. I'm ready.
All right, man. You nervous?
No.
Okay. I know. People been asking you, hey, Lionel, you gonna be on your best behavior? I don't want you to be on your best behavior. Y'all know Lionel. If you mess with me, man, if you rock with me, Lionel is a big time supporter over here. He's a big time supporter in Urban Lounge podcast. Shout out to Urban. That's how I met Lionel. I just like this dude, man. But Lionel, first of all, we're gonna talk about this now about your page, and then we're gonna talk about it later on. But tell us about your page, man. How, first of all, what brought you to YouTube? Of course, besides people streaming through music and stuff like that. But what made you be a content creator?
When did I start? I started like a decade ago, but I didn't take it that seriously. I was just trying to promote my book, but it was low effort in the promotion. And it wasn't until years ago where I started to take YouTube more seriously, because I was actually doing a lot of legwork promoting my work. Right. I started taking it more seriously, and so I started pushing more content on YouTube, and that's where I'm at now.
Right. So you wrote a book then, and what was the book all about? And I was writing back in 2002, but I had one of my teachers, he wanted to push my work out there, so he started putting it in the school newspaper. He would ask me for a couple of chapters, and we would put it in the school newspaper. This is high school, right?
Yeah, this is high school.
Okay.
And then a little bit after that, I had read this, what was I reading? Daniel X by James Peterson. And my mom was like, why haven't you published your book yet? I had no excuses.
Right.
So I said, you're right. And then next thing you know, now this is like 2011 at this point. And from that point onward, I just started publishing paperbacks, and started doing web novels soon after that.
Right.
But
Cool.
it was about essentially finding the limits of power and stretching conceptualization to its maximum. That's essentially what it was about.
Gotcha. We're gonna get in far more in depth later on towards the end, man, about your page. But just brief, and like I said, we're gonna revisit it. But your page right now, you're an author and you do anime, and so tell us where we can find you at, and tell us just a little bit about that, and then we'll come back and revisit it.
Well, one, y'all can pick any site and just type in Suggsverse, like just go on Bing, Google, Yahoo. You put in Suggsverse, I promise you're finding me for pages. But you can find me at www.airtothestars.com. You can also find me at Suggsverse Wikia. And you can also find me on Suggsverse at YouTube, where I do a ton of promotion about my work.
All right. We got the link in the chat. I was pulling up your link earlier today. And so Joe's got the link of where we can get your books and get your all the stuff that you create. We got it all in the chat, man. And I was looking at it myself, and we're gonna revisit that.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Always. You guys, we got his Cash App in the description box. Y'all grace my brother Cash App for gracing us and helping us have a live chat tonight, man. So, but anyways, here's the thing, man. Tell us where you from. Where you from, and where you at?
Unfortunately, I am from Baltimore City.
Why you gotta say unfortunately?
Unfortunately, I don't like telling people I'm from Baltimore, to be honest.
Really?
But yeah, it's not a good place. It wasn't a good place.
Right.
I'm from the west side of Baltimore City, and y'all know I don't like the west. But I am currently, though, in Georgia, so I've branched away from that.
Okay. I got you. So Baltimore defect to Georgia now.
But I moved up and down the East Coast, though. I was even like living in Utah for a little bit, but I've ventured around.
Okay, I got you. So you're in Georgia. So tell us a little bit about where you're born. You were born in Baltimore?
Yes, I was born in Baltimore. Again, unfortunately.
Right.
I was born in Baltimore to an 11-year-old girl, and definitely wasn't the best times in the late 80s.
Late 80s. Okay. Now we're gonna get into that. You guys catch that. So, we're gonna go ahead and get into that. You already shared that, but I want you to go ahead and tell your story now. Now, if you guys didn't catch that, my brother here said his mom birthed him at 11 years old. Okay, and so can you tell us about the details about that?
Yeah.
How that happened, and this is why I wanted you to tell your story, and I wanted everyone to understand your reasoning for leading into.
Yeah, I got you.
So go ahead.
My mom was running away from home because her mom wouldn't protect her, essentially. And her father wasn't around due to the fact that they were always fighting.
So mom was basically kind of dysfunctional home with her mom and dad.
Yeah, but the dad ended up being out of the house more often than not, and then he eventually got kicked out, and so mom had a boyfriend, and of course mom's boyfriend decides he wants to take advantage of a 7-year-old girl.
Wow.
And of course she tries to tell her mom. Mom didn't believe her. Mom also had the unfortunate pleasure of having to go to a babysitter who also assaulted her and wanted her son to assault her. So she had to deal with that. So because mom wasn't protecting her, so she had to run away. Unfortunately, when you run away and you try to ask people for help, they also want to take advantage of you.
Right.
So
go ahead.
So
how old was she when she ran away?
So from 7 to 11, she was running away constantly.
And there was no kind of like backing from mom at all from her mother.
I mean, mom would take a belt and beat the crap out of her for it, but outside of that, it was like, you out of control. You need to calm down.
So there's no she didn't believe mom at all, and so your mom was just stuck at a rock and a hard place, basically.
Yeah. Eventually, you know, she was trying to get help, but now this is at 11, and dude, he was an older dude, around his 40s, of course, took advantage of her, brutally, threw her in the rain, and hence I was conceived.
So I hope you don't mind me asking, but
Go for it.
where did the dude come from? He was a I guess what I'm saying, where did he come from? I mean, who was he?
I'm gonna say just some dude, to be honest, because I only have so much information on it since it wasn't a good encounter.
Well, I got you. So, and this is at 11 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how did your mom basically kind of like, when she found out she was pregnant with you, how did she go forward then?
So when she found out she was pregnant with me, it was more so her mom. So grandma found out. She figured out mom was pregnant, and it was like, we're gonna have this abortion because you're not gonna go through with this. You're too young to have a child, which logically that's what a parent should think. Right. They had to fly out to another place in order to go to the abortion clinic. And when my mom got to the abortion clinic, she dropped down on her knees and started crying and said she wanted to have this baby. She said, "It's something special about this baby. He's going to be my best friend. I love him. I don't want to get rid of him."
Wow.
Grandma decided, you know what? It's whatever. Fine. So they flew back, and she made sure to let her know point blank, once you have this baby, I'm not helping you with it.
And this is at 11 years old.
Yeah, going into 12, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So she makes a decision to keep you and to have you. So what now? Where does she go?
So go for it. She has the baby.
Okay.
Grandma does kick her out.
Okay.
And so, you know, you have this child that's on the streets, literally. And we got to find a place to, before I say that, it's also because of Ronald Reagan's law that she is an emancipated adult right now.
Okay. Okay.
So automatically she's an emancipated adult. So we're literally on the street, hanging by the dumpster, hanging by the corners. Habitually, her aunt is like, you can stay with us for a little bit. But that doesn't last long either.
Right.
So just so you know.
So she was on the street for a long period of time.
Yeah. But she was also still trying to go to school. But go ahead.
Wait.
But she had to drop out of school because the teachers were trying to take advantage of her. Wow. And this is a dark world that people either don't talk about or refuse to acknowledge.
Right. And these are teachers.
Yeah.
At this time.
Yeah. And they know she has a child, and then she tries to transfer to another school only for the male teachers to try to take advantage of her. So she's done with school. And she's able to get a job. She was doing something with telephones, but of course they couldn't pay her legitimately, so they was paying her under the table.
So how old was she at this time?
So she was around 13.
So mama had to basically hustle at 13 years old and at that early age and just getting paid underneath the table.
Yeah.
So she's basically on the street for that period of time, for a long period of time.
Yeah, and so she does eventually able to get an apartment now. She's able to get an apartment, she's working, and at the same time, she's trying to raise me.
Right. So Go ahead, brother. Go ahead and take. So she's raising you. She gets an apartment.
Now the thing about this is that I have a very keen memory. Me and her have had a whole talk about this stuff. And the thing about this is my memory dates back to at maximum when I was 11 months. And my uncle, grandma, aunt, cousins, everyone can confirm everything I remember vividly comes from before the age I was even 1. And they're like, holy crap.
So you can remember vivid memories at that age, at 11 months years old.
Yes, I've seen her be attacked, which is why I know. I remember walking in the classroom. I've seen teachers and how they talk to her. So I've seen the world that she was also talking about. And I've seen the adults around her and how they would handle it. Someone asked, where was the support? There was no support. She was on her own. They held her accountable. That was the thing. This is why when we've had conversations, I tell people, be careful how y'all word that. Y'all have to have context behind it. But the world held her accountable. You had that child, you're an adult now, so you got to do the adult things. And that's what the men were also telling her. You're a grown woman now.
So, and we'll get back to that retrospective. We'll get back to that, and I want your opinion about that, and we'll get back to that.
Okay.
So people are asking in the chat, and by the way, let me salute to if you're just not coming in, I got my boy, my little brother Lionel Suggs. We're interviewing him, and he has a story, and he has a very unique story that I wanted him to tell. But let me, Susanna, shout out. What's up, Speak? What's up with you, bro? Salute. Chrissy, how you doing? Salute to you, bro. Salute to you, bro. Urban, what's going on to you? What's going on? If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. But yeah, brother, so basically she's on her own. People are holding her accountable at an early age. So you said you remember vividly how your mom was treated by teachers and so forth, so on. Can you elaborate on that, bro?
Hold on real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, if you guys have any questions, yeah, you see that, right? If you guys have any questions, you just feel free to ask. Lionel, best assured, he's going to answer every question. And Lionel's very, 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 he pays attention to the chat. So there's no questions that are going to be sensitive to him. In fact, this is his time to tell his story. So you guys have any questions? We got your questions in line, and we'll you're kind of fuzzy there, bro.
Oh, can you see me?
Okay, there you go.
Okay, my perspective when it from what I saw, it's no different than when you see a dude trying to mack on a girl, you know. But this is grown men obviously doing it to a child. But it wasn't just that. Like, you see how, especially when you're older and your perspective is a little different because you may not understand it as a child.
At young age.
And basically you would see how other people, from the mailman to the garbage man to just random people, would look at her. So you have an idea in reality of what these guys were trying to do.
Yes. So at an early age, you saw this, an inquisitive young man, and you saw all of this. So that's crazy. That's amazing.
Now, I'm also trying to protect my mom. Now, let me know, I'm not even 3 years old yet, but there are situations where I'm trying to protect my mom.
Right. Right. Wow.
Not saying it worked out for me, but I was trying. But she was also shaping me very early because she was a very impatient young girl. And she was like, I want him to be my friend. So he gonna have to learn how to walk. He gonna have to learn how to use the bathroom. He gonna have to be talking. I want him to be like an adult at 1 year old. And she did a great job getting me to that level.
Wow. So I remember you talking, bro, and you know, we have very retrospective, however you want to call it, conversations in my chat. It's just E's chat and Urban's chat. And I always say that you grew up with your mom and you and your mom became best friends. You know what I'm saying? And you have a wonderful relationship with your mom. And you credit this to what you're talking about, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I got you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because our stories are intertwined. Sometimes I've talked and people will sit here and try to tell me your story isn't your mom's story, but if you was to talk to her, she would tell you she wants me to tell her story. Because again, there's only a small difference between ages with us. We literally joke about when people would be like, well, Dad, what you gonna do when your mom, you know, she's like 80 years old and she's sitting in a wheelchair and she's at the help center? I'm like, I'm gonna be right there with her.
Right.
What do you mean? We're gonna be there together in a place with the old people.
Right.
We both joke about that.
Right. Got you. So she's got an apartment. She got you. So you never go to a group home or anything like that, or do you ever go to? What happens?
So
at that age.
So from here, essentially, she is trying to make things work with her mom, and all they do is fight. That's been their biggest thing. They're just fight. There's arguing back and forth. Mom tries to help me out because she can't trust me with the babysitter. That becomes the issue. And so grandma eventually was like, you know what? Okay. She budges, and this is around 3 years old. I'm around 3 now, where she's like, okay, I'll help. But then she cuts that off very quickly. And so mom is still we're just maneuvering at this point. I'm growing, we're maneuvering. This leads to the birth of my brother. So my brother, he's coming in. Now she's around 16.
Okay.
Now, the thing about my brother is he was born a premature baby. He's 1 pound. And the doctors immediately let her know. I mean, she just fell off a balcony, by the way. So life happens, right? But my brother's here. They're telling him he ain't going to walk. He ain't going to talk. He's going to have all type of issues. And he does have breathing issues, critical breathing issues. So now she has that on her plate. But there's no father also. He said that's not his child. They actually did a DNA test. Oh, wow. And it came back 99%. But he said that 1% meant it wasn't his.
Oh, wow.
So dad's not in the picture with that either. So again, she's by herself. However, we get to a point where, and it's not that long after, where I end up having to get adopted because things just go wrong. So I ended up having to go get adopted, and her mother is able to take my little brother. Now, she already told her she ain't want nothing to do with them, but then she literally takes the little brother. And now we become at a point where my mom is in fighting mode because she's just lost both of her kids. But then she has the people at the church telling her that's what she deserved. This is what God wanted. And the church actually aids in helping the system and getting a restraining order so she cannot see her kids.
Wow.
My mom tries to go to different places. Like, real talk, y'all will find her. She was like in the newspaper. She was on the radio. She was trying to tell her story, and people weren't really trying to listen. But she was trying. You know, she was trying to work, do everything possible to try to get her kids back. However, it took her a minute. Now, in between this, you know, trying to get jobs, life happens. You know, you're trying to get your kids, like, she'll tell you she was trying to call me. Now, I'm going to have to duel this story and tell you about what I was going through. But she would be trying to call me. But my step-parent, my foster parent, wouldn't let me get the phone. She'd say, oh, he's in the shower. All of that. He's taking a bath. He's gone to sleep. She tried to go to the church we were going to, but then they tell her a different church. So she'd end up at a whole different church. So I'm not seeing her literally for almost 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And they're telling me, hey, your mom don't want you. Your mom got rid of you. The people at church all telling me the same thing. Meanwhile, he's fighting to try to see me. So you have, once again, welcome to the world of adults and what they're doing and what they're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
In the meantime, there are things that are happening. So you have events like she's trying to get a job with this one dude. Next thing you know, they're trying to make her a buffet at a sexual party. And again, this is the world people don't want to talk about.
Right, right.
Now, at some point, she ended up getting broken because it's like she's been fighting for 4 years and it's like there's no hope. You know, she gets put in another situation where this police officer, he's trying to take her home because she needs help getting home. Next thing you know, she got a gun in her mouth. She's getting assaulted. And then he tells her, if you tell anybody about this, he took her ID and everything, I'm going to kill you and your family. She went to the police station and told them. But then after that, when nobody believed her, she said she was going to commit suicide because she was tapped out.
Right.
But that was when she decided not to do that and just to put all her faith in herself. And months later, she had both of her kids again living with her.
Gotcha.
And that's what she will tell you is her first triumphant story. And that is one of the reasons I can't make excuses in life for anything.
Gotcha.
Because she taught me you can't make excuses. You have to keep pushing on even when there is no hope.
Right. So essentially, how old was she when she got you guys back?
So when she got us back, she was hitting 20.
Gotcha. How old were you when you at that time?
Oh, was I? 9?
Gotcha.
Somewhere around there. My math, but yeah.
Gotcha. Amazing. So when she got you back, how got you and your brother back? Yeah, Chrissy, we're gonna get in that. We're gonna talk. You know, his mom is. We'll get in that. So when she got you back, what happens now? What's going on now? How's life been?
Man, so when she got us back, I already knew what this meant. That fun time was over because in the small time I had my brother, I was the one essentially trying to build him up. Now that we're back in full circle. She also had a man also. There was this guy. This is also why I look at marriage a certain type of way. And his name, I'm putting him out here. His name was Twan. Real cool guy. He understood her situation and how she had to meet certain criteria to get her kids back. So he married her in order to make her out to be a stable woman and whatnot. But they both agreed that, hey, we can try it out. If it don't work, we'll just separate on good terms. And they did do that. But at the same time, he was a really good guy. They just, obviously they weren't in sync, but he really wanted to help her get her kids back. And he did that, and always will be appreciative of. But of course, we're here now, and mama got to work. Mama got to work 2-3 jobs. I'm with the brother. He's on a ventilator machine, but I'm basically helping him with the schoolwork, helping him learn how to walk, learn how to use the bathroom correctly, teaching him everything I can. Big brother mode, right?
And you're raising him. You're basically
yeah. So that, because she can't be there. That's the thing. She's working.
Right.
Now we're here, but she can't be there. So that's on me now to make sure, he's getting to school, picking him up, and just feeding him, all of that, teaching him how to cook. And so that would be the next part of our lives, basically. Now that we're all back together, just getting situated, essentially, for the next stage.
Gotcha. So, go ahead. I'm not going to interrupt.
Eventually, my sister comes into the picture.
Okay.
So this would be 2003. So yeah, the sister comes into the picture. Now, it's at the point, now I always say it this way, and I know people don't like it, but now that God has stopped trolling us, we are able to have somewhat of a steady life. The darkness, for the most part, is over, and now we can actually build a more better life. But the sister comes in, and we have a father figure, her father, he's there. But at the same time, because of my experiences, I don't give him no grace. Essentially, it was not just him, but it was any guy that was ever around. You can't say shit to my brother. I'm the one taking care of him.
Right.
You have no authority in this situation. So I'm protective of him, but I'm also protective of my mom also. And so, because I'm in constant alert mode because of past experiences.
Right.
And
you're basically the man of the house.
He didn't like that. He knew it, but he didn't like that.
Right.
Eventually, he gets kicked out, and that falls on me to do the same thing with my brother, to do with my sister now. So now I have to learn how to raise a girl at the same time.
So you got dual parent duties now. So
now I'm doing that. So I'm making sure they're both getting to school. I'm helping them both with their homework. I'm teaching them writing, math. I'm teaching her how to use the bathroom, how to talk. Pick your poison, trying to figure out what hobbies to get her into. That's what I was doing because mom was working.
How old are you now?
13. 13 and the 14.
Amazing.
So that's what I was doing. And I was also working a computer job, small computer job. So I was doing that while also going to school also. And
how were your grades? How were your grades at the time?
Grades could have been better, but I was asleep during class, to be honest. I'm being honest. I was asleep during class. When it came to English though and art, those are the two classes I excelled in. So,
yeah. So when you're basically raising your brother and your sister, how did you feel? Did you feel like it was a chore? Did you enjoy doing it?
Well, I was annoyed. It's a lot of work.
Right.
That's a lot of work. Now, it annoyed my mom simultaneously also because, eventually, when I started working overnight, she would come home, and like she'd come home, she'd be on the phone, she'd be loud, but my brother and sister would tell her, "Shh, Lionel sleep," and she'd be like, "This my dad, shh, Lionel sleep," and she would tell me later on, "You know your siblings are over here hushing me because you sleep. I'm trying to sleep too." But when it came to authority, I was the one who had the authority in the house.
Yeah, you're the man. Again, you're the man.
And that was the reality. But again, this was also a woman whose first lesson was to tell me to be a leader. That was the first lesson she ever instilled at me when she was 12. You have to be a leader. She didn't have men teaching her the right things, but she found the way to teach me how to be a man.
Gotcha. Awesome. That's awesome. So you're basically raising your sister and your brother. Your mom married dude. He eventually leaves, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just y'all three now, right?
Now let me know, the reason he had to be kicked out was because, just like this, she tried to tell her story to him. And then he wanted to ask her, "What did you do to make all these dudes want to assault you?"
Oh, wow.
And then put it all on her. He, quote unquote, held her accountable and made it her fault that she was getting abused by these men and some women. And that was the end of that marriage.
So he basically kind of, that's no excuse. But so he basically put it off on her, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just now it's left with you, your mom, and your two siblings. So what goes on now? What happens now?
We're all trying to figure out our place because we also are getting out of the church. The church has done us no good. And
is this the same church that that you guys were involved with earlier on?
Actually, this was because she was born into it. We were born into it. We thought going to different versions of it, because it's all over the country. It's the United House of Prayer, literally in every state. But we went to different states. But what we were hearing wasn't resonating with us. It's very hard when you're listening to people telling you, "Hey, your child needs his father." But then now I got to go into a whole situation telling my story to tell you how dumb that sounds. Right. Or my brother has to tell his, or I got to tell his story to say how dumb that sounds. So it's like, or, they're telling you, "Hey, things that happened to you, it was a blessing. Good stuff is going to come out of it." I don't think a 15-year-old being used as a rotisserie chicken at a party is some good is going to come out of that. Like, I don't get what y'all are saying. So it wasn't resonating with us. And then they try to tell you these different stories, but yet we're looking at the world a little bit differently. Like, how are y'all saying this with a straight face?
Right.
Because that's not what we see.
Correct.
Now, we're eventually drifting off and going our own separate ways. My brother, he ends up moving to, where did he go first? He went to South Carolina. She was in Atlanta. Where did I go first? I went to Utah first. Then we ended up all circling around each other and going to different areas. But I landed in South Carolina, but then he landed in California. And I started helping out young abuse victims.
Okay.
So I got into the field of helping young girls who had been assaulted, just abused in different ways. And there's a lot of victims out there. But the problem is we're so keen on sending them to people that can't resonate with them, that actually can't understand them. that these people are they're like robots giving advice.
Right.
Where these ladies, I understood them and they took comfort. This isn't a guy trying to get the booty. This isn't a guy that's trying to manipulate or use you. I'm trying to help you to get your mind right. As what you always say, get your spirit right. And so that's what I would start doing while doing warehouse work and working on my story simultaneously.
Gotcha. So at this age, when you were reaching out and helping out, the folks that are, that you chose to help out, how old were you then?
I would be 23 at this point.
Gotcha. So you guys are grown. You guys are all over the place. At any point in time, did you say, hey, all of the things that I've seen, I've gone through, did any point did that ever affect you, and that you needed, hey, I need counseling, I need to talk to someone? Did you actually break?
So, not that. I would actually say it was 2018. 2018, I actually did have a whole breakdown, but it was just me feeling empty, feeling like I wasn't succeeding, feeling like I wasn't accomplishing anything. And I did go talk to a therapist, and talk to two different ones actually, just to get a second opinion. However, they understood that I was coping already, and they literally was like, we don't know exactly what to tell you. Now, I wasn't being combative or defensive or anything, but they saw what I was doing in real life and was like, you're literally doing everything we would tell you to do.
Right. So essentially, do you think that helped out?
No, they didn't help at all. And after some of those sessions, it got my head together. And my mom, she fussed at me because if I'm feeling like this, she's feeling like it. If I'm feeling like a failure, she's feeling like a failure. And it got my head together and realizing, and she told me, hey, you need to just come home. I couldn't, because I felt like if I was going to go there and I'm feeling like this, what really changes? So I need to change myself before I go anywhere to get myself on point. And that's how I brought myself back up.
Gotcha. Joe brought out a question right here, bro. Said, did you and your mom ever graduate from high school?
Oh, of course. She wasn't going to allow me not to. She was dead serious on. No, she didn't graduate high school, because she dropped out literally when she started. But I graduated high school because she said, you ain't going to be no bum ass nigga without a high school degree.
Right.
She wasn't playing that.
So mama stayed on you.
Oh, she stayed on me. If there was anything, and I'll circle back to this real quick, I hated my mom in school. This woman came to class all the time. She was always in there. She was an hour away at work, but then she'd make that drive. She'd come and eat lunch with me. She'd sit in the class with me. I'd have all the dudes like, dude, that's your mom? I'm about to be your daddy. These little boys always, I hated that crap. But she was always in school. I didn't go to no after school activities. We'd go to tutoring. She'd make sure if we got punished, she's putting a book in our hand and we're writing an essay. Like, this is what she was doing.
Right. So mama wouldn't have no excuses.
No excuses.
That's awesome. So mama wanted you to come back home. You wasn't having it. You made things work for yourself. So now what?
Around this time, this is when I started taking my book work more seriously, because I got books out, but I'm not promoting it like at all. And it's like, now let me know. I just wasn't putting that time and attention into it. All my time and attention literally was going to work, because I was a grocery manager at a job that annoyed me, and I was, again, helping all these women out who have all these issues. Yo, women are crazy as hell. So many issues. And I'm helping them out, like genuinely getting them on their feet and getting them to get particular accolades, getting them to go back to work or confront their demons. So I'm helping them out, but I wasn't putting time into me.
Right.
And then at the same time, my sister was having some problems, and I realized I wasn't actively doing what I was supposed to do with her either. So now I have to transition back, because mama can't do it by herself. So now I'm back into the fold full time, making sure she's on point.
Right. So you're a father figure to your brother and your sister?
Oh, they both tell me Happy Father's Day every year.
That's awesome, man. How do you feel when they tell you that?
They give me some money too.
Hey,
but
man,
but it made me feel good.
Yeah, man. If y'all just now tuning in, I'm interviewing my little bro, Lionel Suggs. He has an amazing story. I'm very grateful that he's here to tell his story, and in his own words, and hopefully it can. I know you don't like saying you don't like hearing this, bro, but your story can inspire people, and it can help people. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree though.
Yeah, and so, and I very much wanted you to tell your story in your words instead of in bits and pieces. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, where are we today?
When you go, I'm gonna go back to the siblings thing. Like,
okay.
I'm real, and they both credit me for where they're at right now. My brother, he's been to over 50 countries. Dude travels his butt off. He wants to settle down.
What does he do, bro?
Well, he was doing odd jobs, honestly. He was finding jobs that would allow him to travel, like being a nanny or being a cleaner, and people would pay you to travel across the country or travel across the world to do these jobs.
Okay.
And it would allow him to see different things. Now, right now, he's currently a bus driver. It's something he has fun with. But, I mean, outside of being across this entire country and literally every state, and then being in 50 countries across the world, dude has a lot of knowledge. And he's been everything from a welder. He's getting his piloting license right now. There's a farmer, like pick a job. Like, the dude has invested into it because he understands that there's no excuses on why you can't work, why you can't make money, why you can't get what you want, essentially. My sister, she's also traveling the country right now. She's with her boyfriend, and she's traveling across the country. He's a bus driver. But, I mean, she's just a young lady. But if you were to talk to her, you would think she's an old woman. And she's very talented, very experienced. I know she knows how to take care of herself. She knows how to plant. She knows how to sew. She's very technologically advanced. She also writes her own fan fiction stories. Like, she's pretty much out there.
Gotcha. I wonder where she got that from. Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
My mom, she is, boy, I feel bad. I always forget what she is. She does something in recruiting, but she's a manager in recruiting. She's been doing this for a minute. I mean, she's happy as hell. She's living life. She just bought her 4th Mercedes off the lot. She just got approved for this $3 million home that she probably not going to move into. She travels a lot also. She's well off. This is a girl that, again, she didn't graduate high school. She didn't go to college, but you look at her check, she's making over $1 million a year. You know, she's literally teaching people. She's getting money. Just the other day, you know, she was having a whole mental breakdown. Not really, but she was just stressing out because it was like, oh, how am I supposed to get paid? I'm like, flip your money, do something. Why are you crying about it? Next thing you know, Chris, 150K just dropped in the bank. You did your magic again. Like, I'm like, nah, that's all you. But like, again, we're all literally happy, you know?
Right. That's awesome. So I don't want to turn the focus on your mom, even though she has her own story. I wanted this. So she's successful. Did she go back to school or something, or did she go to college, or how did that all come about?
She did I'm pretty certain she did go back and get her GED.
Okay.
But that's as far as that was going to go.
Right. Man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. You guys, man, if you just now tuning in, I'm interviewing my bro Lionel. He is telling his story. Wonderful story. And here's the thing I want to bring out, man. A lot of people that I come in contact with, and I want to let you know this. You know, my daughter was 9 years old when she lost her mom, you know, in a tragic accident. And so I became, you know, just a full-time dad, basically. Joe Delaney, you know, I interviewed her about a year or so ago. Her mom left the family at 9 years old, basically. You know what I'm saying? And so you reconnected with your mom after a couple of years at 9 years old. And so at a very young age, man, your mom taught you basically to be independent, basically. So let me ask you this. How has that shaped you into the man you are today? As far, not only have you just said that, you know, she taught you to be a leader at a very early age, as early as 3 years old, but tell me how it shaped your life today.
Man, responsibility, and I'm just being honest, responsibility is tiresome because all these jobs I keep going to, it's always some manager position I have to be in. And the one job I'm thinking I'm just going to be able to chill at, they only see me for 2 weeks and then they promote me to a higher manager. I said, come on. But it's just how I maneuver. And it's how I maneuver with, everybody. You know, if someone has to make the first step, I'm going to make the first step. If someone has to speak first, I'm going to speak first. You know, you give me the control, I'm going to show you I can do it. It doesn't matter how many people it is. I'm going to assess the situation and I'm just going to start making moves because I have to. I can't make excuses, and that's always the mentality. You can't make excuses.
Yeah.
She even had a thing where if we made an excuse, we'd have to put $1 in a jar. I don't have $1, so I can't make an excuse. And it was a smart tactic though.
Right. So again, at an early age, at DR, she taught you you're a natural born leader. You know what I'm saying? You a lot of people if they were in your position, they would make excuses to just basically kind of like go in a corner somewhere and make excuses and woe is me all day long and not get anything done in life. But what you've done is you've taken what you've gone through and you're successful. You know what I'm saying? So what are some other things you think that, other than being a leader and taking charge of things, taking things by the reins, so to speak, and taking control? What are some other things that you think that it's made you into today?
Oh, I'm very understanding. Now, if y'all see me on these panels, I do know how I come off. Trust me. I know if y'all see me in the chat, I know how I come off. I do. However, now that y'all heard some extra stuff, understand that I resonate with what people can talk about. I empathize, I sympathize. I know how to have basically chemical reactions with people. And because my whole thing is absorbing information, absorbing feelings, so I can understand and communicate properly. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, I know how y'all see me, and it's like, this nigga don't give a shit. Partly that's true, but at the same time, I have no choice but to try to understand, because I'm always trying to help people. That's just me. Because I also understand that everyone's not the bad guy, and it's not. And if it wasn't for a particular drug dealer, me and my mom would not probably have that situation. And I gotta say it like that, because this drug dealer saw this young girl coming out of the house, and we ain't had no lights, no bed, no food, no nothing. And he asked her a question, and she didn't want to trust him, but she gave him a shot. He gave her money, put $500 in her hand, told her to get food, told her to go to the store. She came back. He brought her a bed, TV, couch, refrigerator, and he told everybody on the block to leave her alone.
Wow.
Never asked for nothing.
Wow. Wow.
So when you see that, despite seeing so much darkness, it kind of like shapes your perspective again.
Right.
Like, everyone's not the bad guy like we assumed.
Right.
Some people just want to do good. And that's also partly what I do, because I know everybody's not the bad guy. I also know everybody has a story. I'm not here to judge anyone's story and try to put them down, because at the same time, I try to understand. Too many people try to compete. They have a bad story, and now it becomes a competition of who got the worst story. I'm not here to compete with nobody. I'm here to listen, and if you need help finding solutions, that's what I can help you do. That's what my brother does right now. He tries to help people. Anyway, my brother tries to help people also. My sister, she tries to help people, although she's more of an introvert. My mom still is trying to help people and young ladies who are victims. Like, it hasn't left us. That's what our family does.
Right. We're going to take a commercial break in a few minutes, but before we do, when we do a commercial break, what I'd like for you to get into, I know you probably don't know I'm going to get into this. We're going to talk about how everything that you've gone through, how it shapes your perception about relationships.
Okay.
And I want your opinion about that. I want your philosophy about that. I want your philosophy about men dating, men relationships, women relationships, how your experience has shaped your perception about all of that, and how you and I know he's got the bird, man. He got the bird. He got the bird, man. He can't wait to get into that. Let me get it. A lot of people made a lot of comments.
Okay.
Let's see here. Now, thank you, Joe. Joe has put Lionel's website where you can go and look at his website at heirstothestars.com, and that's where you can get his merchandise, his books, look at his artwork, the whole 9 yards. Very talented young man we got here. So please go and check out his website, look at his merchandise, look at what this young man has put together. Very talented. I was looking at it again, like I said, at my desk this afternoon. And you guys go check him out, man. And go cop some of that stuff he's got over there. You know what I'm saying? Urban said, oh snap, Lionel got that urban merch on.
Yeah, I do actually.
Let me see. What is that, an urban shirt? You got
yeah, it's an urban shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Urban. He representing Urban. He's representing. Okay. Chrissy says, "Oh my God, where's the support?" I think she's talking about your mom. Basically, you didn't have any support. You guys didn't have any support or whatnot. Your mom had to get it on her own. You know what I mean? She said, this is a trilogy. DR says, so no one was held accountable for the abuse. That's a good question. Was anybody held accountable?
No, nobody was held accountable, and she did talk. Hence why when I listen to conversations when people are talking about abuse and they be like, oh, why don't you just go tell people? People don't listen. People will call you a liar. You can file a police report. Those reports disappear. Nobody was held accountable.
Okay. Gotcha. Joe says she was assaulted at a young age. Okay, Joe's just letting everybody know, for everybody that missed it. Let me read that again. Hold on. She was at a young age, and she chose to keep the child. So she was told she would not be supported for those who missed out. So if you just came back in, that's what we've been talking about, man. This young man has an amazing story. Christian says, my heart breaks for his mom. I would have loved her. How's your mom now? You answered that already. Doing very good for herself. Very, very well for herself. You're young with a lot of responsibility. I think I asked you, man, at a very young age, taking care of your siblings and whatnot. You said it sucked, but I think I'm not answering for you. I think that, man, you going back, you see a lot of benefit. You think you'd be a good father? You think you'll be a good father? Do you want to be a father?
Oh, I'd be a tremendously great father.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. And Chris said, God bless your mom in abundance. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. She was young and they took advantage of her young age. Yeah. Chrissy says here, is this story one of your books?
No. But this story is a documentary that my mom has.
Yeah, and for those of you that think that this is a far-fetched story, because whenever I first heard this young man's story, I was like, what in the world? Until today, he sent me a link. He sent me a link. His mom is actually telling this exact story. So if you think this is far-fetched, it's really not. This is a true story. And so whenever I find the link, I'll post it in the chat so you guys, because you sent it to me, bro, and so I'll post it so you guys can go check out his mom telling her story. So DR says you all turn out amazing despite the hardships. Exactly. Oh yeah, and so his writings is about Suggs' verse. I mean, it's a made up omniverse. We'll get into that as well. DR says story of triumph. Natural born leader. He's young enough to say he is young enough to be my son for sure. That's Joe. How it gave him a Messiah complex. Explain that. Why you call yourself the Messiah complex?
I know that comes off egotistical, but that is actually a reference to one of my favorite storylines in X-Men comics.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah, so it has to do with the character Cyclops and how he broke away from Charles Xavier, and it's where everyone was calling him the Boy Scout, he became the superior Magneto essentially.
Correct.
And he had basically the totality of the X-Men following him as if his word was God. It's one of the greatest character developments I've ever read. And so that's what that is, a shout out to that.
There you go. Okay. There you go. That explains that. I remember that story. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense. Joe says he didn't have a childhood. You can you speak on that? Do you think that you had a proper childhood?
No.
And what I mean by that is playing with the kids, having sports, the whole 9 yards. But I know you're busy being a father-like character. You're the house.
So I had an interlude. So when I was with the foster parents for 3.5 years, that's when I got to have a childhood. That was the interlude where I got to be a child. That's as far as that went.
Gotcha. Do you still keep in contact with your foster parents?
No, they both died after I left, actually.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, they were both really sick, and when I left, they ended up dying a little after.
Oh, wow. Were they older? They were already
older? They were older.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they were older.
Gotcha. Hey, Alima, thank you for coming through, love. Thank you. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, in the comic books, not in the movie. Yeah. Yeah, man. So that's his mom's documentary. I know, like I said, this is a story that, man, this is like a story that any director could take a script to, man, and put it to screen. I know it might sound far-fetched, but this young man's story it's very intriguing, and it's out there. So this is his mom's documentary here. So you guys go check it out. That's in her words, but I wanted my bro to tell his side of the story as a child growing up in the situation that he was in. You know what I mean? So, but if you're just now joining in, I'm interviewing my little bro Lionel Suggs, and he has told his story or whatnot. His mom had him at 11 years old, and hardships in the beginning, but he has turned out to be a success. You know what I mean? And so I'm very proud of him. But yeah, we're gonna take a commercial break, bro. And like I said, when we come back, I want your perspective. Okay, I know you can't wait to talk about this, but again, I want your perspective of how what you've gone through has shaped your thoughts about relationships, about marriage, about men and women in general, their roles in a relationship. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to take some commercial breaks, and I want to say shout out to the great T-Cat. She has the artwork that you see right here. This is all due to T-Cat Commission Art Diva. Thank you, love. We love you. She's the best. Any content creator out there, anybody out there, if you're a content creator, if you're trying to grow your channel, if you need some artwork, make your channel pop, go and subscribe to T-Cat, the Commission Art Diva. She is our pillow princess. So she will hook you up. You know what I mean? She will hook you up, make your channel pop. You know what I mean? And so trust me, there's nobody better than T-Cat. So guys, go and subscribe to her. Hit her up. Her information will be in the chat. Hit her up. Shoot her an email. Say, hey, I want some of your artwork. I want you to work for me. And so her Joe has put her channel description in the chat. So you guys go subscribe to T-Cat and go hit her up. Hey, B Peachy, what's going on, love? What's going on? So we will be back. And Lionel, is going to give his perspectives on dating and relationships after these commercial breaks. We'll be right back. Here we go. to the great T-Cat. Wasn't that wonderful? I can never, ever get tired of watching those videos. I even watch those videos while I'm picking up my daughter from school. Man, y'all go subscribe up to T-Cat Commission Vision Diva. Y'all go subscribe to her. The lovely artwork that you see, that's all her. That's all her. That's all her. And she is the best out there, man. I'm telling you. Y'all go and subscribe to T-Cat. All right. So, and then if you saw in the commercials there, my sis is just ETV. My big sis, she has a channel as well. Go subscribe to It's Just ETV. We have a brand new podcast. We launched that last week. The Tap In podcast. We used to double stream, but we have our own entity. Shout out OSD for entity. Also dope. Shout out. We have our own podcast, Tap In podcast, with myself, SBK, and with It's Just Eat. Every Friday night at 8 p.m. we have a show. And we are the dynamic duo. We are the best dynamic duo on these YouTube streets. And we have it lit. You know what I'm saying? We have it lit. So my boy Lionel, he hops up on the panel. Urban hops up on the panel. We just have a good old time. So you guys go subscribe. If you have subscribed up to me, go ahead and subscribe up. You did. So if you're a content creator, in the chat, put your links in the chat so we can all support each other and so we can all go and sub and subscribe and all that good stuff. I have my boy, we back. My little brother Lionel is back with me. He told his story, you know what I'm saying? And what a wonderful story of triumph, you know what I'm saying? I'm proud of this dude, you know what I mean? But as we said before the commercial break, I want Lionel's perspective of relationships and dating because, you know, he's been through a lot. And since he has been through a lot, I know that he wants what he wants. And so let me ask you something, Lionel. How has what you've gone through and what you've seen, what is your perspective on relationships and how has that shaped your thinking about relationships, being a man in a relationship, being a woman? What are you looking for in a woman? What is your perspective? The floor is now yours, sir.
So, I mean, we all look at them based off of experience, what you've seen, what you've gone through. If people, because I got to preface this the right way, if people would ask me my opinion based on what I've seen, I have a grandma who's been married for 40 years, and they hate each other. And if people are sitting here and be like, no, they just saying that. No, they hate each other. They live in separate houses. They have nothing but negative things to say. They don't want nothing to do with each other. They just don't want to get a divorce because, quote unquote, the church. Right, but if you ask either one of them, they will tell me, don't get married. Period. Wow. So that's what they would say. But then I'll look at my mom. And like I said, in her first marriage, it was a marriage of convenience. Homie was just trying to help. And they did try, but, you know, the love wasn't there. And so, peaceful breakup. Then she got married again to my sister's father. But he was an alcoholic. He was angry all the time. And then, of course, he didn't know how to communicate properly. And when he's, you know, held her accountable for the wrong things, it was like, yeah, he can't do nothing to help my sons. That was her mentality. He's got to go. I thought I could take the burden of being a father away from you, but nah, he got to go. So, But then I've seen good relationships also. And I've seen how two people can come together and they can make a quality life. So I've seen it from different spectrums. If you look at my outer family, you look at 22 relationships, only 2 of them have lasted. Rest of them all been divorced. And it was always the woman's fault. No, let me stop. But, you know, there were issues. If you ask what was going on, there would be issues. What I'm looking for, honestly, is just someone I can lead to greatness, someone that I can help build her into the best version of herself, support her at the highest level so she can achieve fulfillment in life. And in return, she can be my cheerleader.
Gotcha.
Because my ego is going to take me to my maximum potential no matter what. That's why I agree with Urban. We're not going to be partners. I'm the leader of this situation.
Gotcha. So what have you learned as far as manhood is concerned? Not only about I know what you mean about the partner thing, but what have you learned as far as being a man in a relationship and understanding your role as a man? What is your perspective on that?
You got to do everything. These women don't sit here and appreciate you. Come on, man. You got to do everything. The burden is on you to carry the team. And even when they think they uplifting you and helping you out, the reality is you the same one. You the one who has to keep carrying that. So you're carrying your ego, but now you got to carry and build her ego. DR said, "What if she already great? Well, she not great enough if she with me, because I'm gonna make her greater. But look at the burden that's on me."
So is that something that you welcome, the burden, or that's something that's...
No, I welcome it. I'm not gonna sit here and complain when you're in the situation. But as a man talking to a man, we know what we gotta do, because as a man, it's all on us.
Right.
And I've watched situations. The fact that I've watched my mom be like the ultimate supporter. She's been with men. She was with a guy who had 7 kids. Right? Now, I wasn't here at this point. But she was with a guy that had 7 kids. She helped him pay child support. Got him a car. Got him out of his mom's house. Tried to get him tried to get him a degree. Tried to get him a job. Tried to completely turn this dude around. But he wanted to be a bum ass dude. So at the end of the day, she had to get rid of him, because she really did. Because she really did try to boost this guy up. But at the same time, it was like, what was he doing? Like, he wasn't a man.
Right.
Like, and that was the thing. Like, I've seen this too much with her, but I've also got to listen to women say these similar stories. I've seen women really doing their job, being supporters. And the problem with this is that the men, they don't know how to take the support.
Right. Why is that, in your opinion?
Too many of these men want a mom, if we're going to be honest. Too many of these men want a mom. They want a woman that's going to take care of them. That's the thing. They fall into that mentality of hair. And I always say it this way, and it weirds people out, but that's the reality. These men want a mom they can sleep with. And that's essentially, when these girls are in that supportive role, they end up ironically being in that leadership role also, because the man's too busy trying to be a child, and these women baby them.
Right. Gisela asked, I'm going to come back to this, but Gisela asked a good question. So why do you keep calling it a situation? That's as bad as partner.
Because it is a situation. At the end of the day, it is a situation. I mean, it is as bad as a partner, but just saying, they're all situations at the end of the day. You know, we can't try to like recontextualize it. That's literally what they are. This is the situation I'm in, but it's all encompassing. That's what you got to understand. It's all encompassing. Because it can be a relationship, it can be a friendship or kinship. It's all encompassing, but the actual context within that situation is going to determine what it really is. But it's up to the two people in that to make it what it is.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Joe says there's a big pond, many fish in the sea, and I'm interested in how many women y'all been through to make these assumptions. You want to go ahead and answer that, bro?
Not how many women y'all been through. Dang. So why she gotta word it like that?
The floor is yours. You know, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
All right. So here's the thing. When it comes to a question like that, it's not simply personal romantic relationship I'm going off of, because I actually think I've had quite a good resume actually, but I'm also going off of what I got my friends pouring into me, what I have the victims pouring into me, would you have the family pouring into me, and then again it's just all about listening and seeing what's happening, and you just create a web of it, web of information and knowledge, web of emotions, pulling it all in, and then you can really make that determinator. You can really look at it and be like, dang, I'm gonna have to operate this type of way, because we have a habit of saying there's other fish, but then what happens? You start going, that next fish looks like the fish you just had.
Right.
Like,
so DR said, yeah, running through them. Joe Ross, since you don't know him already. Oh my God. Oh my God. Pause, Joe. Pause. Should we kept playing? Oh, they wilding there. Yeah, Urban, they wilding. Jesus says, that's your fault if it looks the same as the last.
No. See, that's the thing. We're not saying it looks the same, and there's too many men that says that. Because what you're seeing is, you know, you have a white cat, a gray cat, a yellow cheetah, an orange tigress, but they end up being the same fish as the last one. You know, you can get them in different states, in different environments, and then they end up, because y'all women crazy. Like, come on, y'all women do not have that shit together in y'all head. All these women got this trauma and all this crap they bring in, and then they try to sit here and think therapy's helping, when therapy generally makes it worse. They're just not smart enough to catch on to that yet. Like, y'all crazy.
Joe says, exactly. It's your choice what cat you choose. Oh my God. Joe, real fishermen do fish in a pond. She says, I understood and said what I said. I'm telling you, my boy, he up here ready though. Like it's my choice to stay away from cray men. Not true. Some women aren't, but let you tell it.
Some women, you are right. There is a 1% of women who are not crazy. You're right. It's just that every woman think they fall into that 1%, unfortunately.
Right.
A lot of you women are narcissists, but a lot of you feel like you fall into that small percentage that aren't.
Right. I want to go back to when you said, because someone we started, but where is it? I'm just go ahead and ask you. When you said that you want to make your woman great, and I think you said something that you can't correct me if I'm wrong, but you said now DR said, yeah, I remember what DR said. She said, "What if she was already great before she got with you?" So I want you to address both of those. So
I said, so that's the thing. I want to lead my woman to greatness. I want her to be the best version of herself. And I'm going to support her at the highest level so that she can achieve fulfillment in life. What if she's already great? I'm going to make her greater. You was great by yourself. Now imagine how much greater you can be when I'm leading you and propelling you forward. Because I'm not going to let you just stay at that mediocre greatness. We're going to go even higher.
Right. But what if she has that same mentality towards you? She wants to make you great. Are you cool with that?
If she wants to make me great, she can try.
Joe is not made quality fish.
Oh,
not
many
quality fish in the pond. Yeah. I totally agree with that, Urban. Yar says, okay, then say that. That goes both ways. I guess it's just talking about greatness.
But okay, so that's the thing though. But you're asking both ways, and he was asking what I was looking for in a woman, and I was just explaining what I want to give to this woman. That's
okay,
why.
Right. Okay. Since I have this on my mind, Urban triggered my question right now, and I wanted your perspective about this. Since we're talking about partnership, Urban says that's a dirty word in his vocabulary. He doesn't like using the word partnership. I want you to explain why you don't like the word partnership when people are referring to relationships and stuff. I want you to go ahead and expound on that.
Man, because I mean it sounds stupid, honestly. Especially when you hear it out of a woman's mouth, it sounds stupid. Because at the end of the day, we're not equal. That's just the reality. We're not equal. I'm leading the ship. And a real man, as the women like to use that euphemism, he would be the leader of the ship. You're part of my crew, but you're not my partner. Like we're not. No, this isn't Batman and Robin. When you think of partnerships, you think Batman and Robin. But at the end of the day, who was in charge? Batman. And Robin had a huge issue with that. Hence why he left. No, I don't want to mold and shape per se. I want her to be her own individual. I only want to help elevate her. She can be herself. I don't care if you loudmouth. I don't care if you're from the hood like E. I don't care how rough you are. I want to help elevate her to greatness. I had to. I'm not here to mold and shape you. No, I'm not your father.
Oh, shit. Oh, y'all tripping today, man. Urban said the pun is for practice only. Wow.
I agree. But no, like...
Go ahead.
But no, like you shouldn't, like these women shouldn't want a partner, because I think that's where a lot of these guys end up getting super lazy too, because they're a partner. No. When you're the leader, you can't afford to get lazy. That's the biggest difference.
Gotcha. Joe says, yes, Lionel thinks he's a potter. DR says, I like team. What do you think about that?
We're a team. We can be a team.
And Joe says, and thinks he's great enough.
Actually, no. No. I believe I can be greater. I believe there's many boundaries I still have to keep pushing.
Okay. DR says, "Woo, leave me alone. We both from the."
We know.
Yes, we know. Yes, we know. Hurry, hurry. Jesus says you should just say modern women are the ones that are the problem because that's really what it is. What are your thoughts on that?
You're not wrong. However, I've noticed that there are a lot of older women who have been absorbed into modern women mentality.
I truly agree with that. I truly agree with that. Shout out to Hoodie. Shout out to Hoodie. VR says there's always room for growth and improvement.
I agree. I never said there wasn't. I agree.
A modern man seeks a modern woman. Okay, since we're talking about a modern man seeks a modern woman, we're talking about modern men, modern women, and all that. I want your take on the modern man and modern woman in today's society. I want your whole full take. The floor is yours. Hold on.
I want to give a general consensus, but I'm still working on that when it comes to the men. When it comes to the women, however, the general consensus is definitely they too aggressive. They way too aggressive in the modern era. But at the same time, y'all need to chill. Just chill. But now, don't come at me yet. Because I also understand what's happening out here. I understand how these modern men are operating. These modern men, they definitely seem like they hate women. Let's just be honest. They seem like they hate women. They are overly emotional. A lot of them are lazy. And it's like, dang, if you already got a son, it's like, dang, you getting this older dude who's about to act like who acts younger than your son. Even the dudes who, quote unquote, got it together, that's in their 50s, got everything together, they want to, I don't want to say they want to be your dad, but they're overly emotional and give off those tendencies that can look very toxic. Like modern men, I can understand why they're not attracted to women. And that's just being honest. Because there's a lot of issues there, and they're not taking constructive criticism correctly. It's like they can't hear what these women are saying, and they're choosing not to. They're too busy blaming everything on the women that they're not working on themselves. And I ain't even saying they got to go to therapy, but I mean, if that helps, go for it. But they're not working on themselves enough to honestly be able to be like, yeah, I'm the man of the house. I'm the leader. Like, we got to be honest with that. And again, in terms of the modern woman, y'all just crazy. But I definitely understand why. Because these men are confusing you. As much as these guys say they just want this and it's that simple, you start hearing a whole grocery list of crap these guys want. And it's like, dang, I thought they were simple. But you see that they're not. And, you know, we talk about beta men. There's a lot of beta men.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of them. A lot of them literally falls into the qualifications of that.
How you doing, Marlene? Thank you for coming through. Hello. Salute. So what are your thoughts on these beta men? And hold on, let's back up. What makes a beta man? What makes a beta man?
You know, because Irvin's funny as hell with that one. But the beta man is the dude that literally. Oh, hold on, mom texting me. All right, the beta man is the guy that is basically hand over knee for the woman. But at the same time, he's not getting anything from it. He's just doing, not getting anything in return. He's just worshiping the woman, looking past all the negatives, looking past all the flaws, looking past everything. He's basically just he's like, hey, baby, and she's slapping you in the face to give you a representation. And he just smiles afterwards. Like, this is your beta man that you see. These guys love to talk one way, but then they'll be sitting here crying like a 90s R&B video for these girls who don't think that's attractive.
Right.
But you see them more and more and more.
Right. So why do
wait, hold on. Their happiness is also dependent on a woman.
Right. So why are these in your opinion, I strongly hold on just a second.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly have opinions about the beta males and why these women go for these men. But why do these women go for these beta men?
Women crazy. I don't get why y'all go for them dudes. I mean, then you'll hear the women, they'll try to tell you, no, we don't go for these guys. But yet, most of the beta men are married. And the other half are turning into incels. But I can't tell you why. Like, other than these women crazy. I mean, women like compliments, Women like to be hyped up, their ego stroked and whatnot. And that's going to turn them on. But at the same time, these beta men ain't really lasting out here because the women are unattracted by them. Exactly, Urban. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. DR, you a hood girl, so not you, definitely. But these women that aren't hood girls.
So, did you read what Joe said?
I agree. I'm reading Joe's now. And Joe, I absolutely agree with it. That's why it's easier to even give y'all an explanation here, because if you see me in action, I don't have to say that. Everyone falls in line. Oh, that sounds bad. But you get what I'm saying.
Yep. So those women do for them. Those women do for them because they want to control them. Shit is backwards in the mind.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Urban, I finally agree with you when you lead correctly. When you lead correctly, a woman will naturally follow. Yes, Joe, 1,000,000% true. I know why, but that's another show. I don't like the word submit. Why do a lot of women don't like the word submit, in your opinion?
I mean, it makes them sound like they're a dog. And these women aren't dogs. I mean, if we're going to be honest, they have come a long way. But at the same time, I've seen this too. Again, so you ask about the past, because that helped shape the future. When I'm looking at these women that were in the streets, and I looked at the men who were there, these weren't dudes that could lead these women. Not to anything great. And that's also not the mentality a lot of these men have. They're just so busy trying to give just to get that tiny bit of pleasure, but they're not trying to make their woman the best version of herself.
Right.
Like, this is why a lot of women have lost respect for these men, because these men are too busy looking at the situation like a partnership, quote unquote, trying to be 50-50. But, they end up falling into I just want a mom that I can smash.
Right. DR says, I gracefully follow with love, union, and greatness.
She be hyping herself up.
DR following is We all submit to something.
Mhm.
All right, but we got my boy Lionel up here, man. Look here, I'm going to. This is his day to shine. I want you to talk more about your website, man. We kind of briefly talked about it earlier in the show, but tell me how you got into being an artist and how you got into your artwork and what you got going on.
So, art was a safe space for me when I was young. And when I used to draw a lot. I was obviously, as a kid, I liked the cartoons and stuff. That was one of the activities me and my mom would do. We would watch Batman, Spider-Man, Power Rangers. We'd watch all of that together. And I would like to emulate it, but I had it in my head, there wasn't enough black characters. And I would always try to, draw black versions of these characters. And eventually, before I say that, I was always creating, if you would have gave me a McDonald's cup holder and a bag, I would turn this into a fortress somehow. I would take any type of things I can get that people weren't using and try to build stuff with it. But I was telling stories, literally telling storylines. So then eventually I started putting it on paper. So it went hand in hand, learning how to draw more and more, but also learning how to write more and more. And I would get into that. That's where I brought up. Now, I actually do have to say some stuff that might shock some people. But so when I went to Frederick Douglass High School, that's when my U.S. history teacher, he was a white guy. He presented my stuff to the journal area, and that's where they would start publishing my stuff weekly. I eventually had to go to another school. Now, I was in PG County now. And with this situation, my probation officer at this point, she was a white lady, and she put me on creative writing. She wanted to push my stuff harder. Now, I got in a little bit of trouble, and so I had a probation officer who wanted to make sure I was doing things right, but she saw that I was a writer, and she wanted to help elevate me. So she put me on the creative writing. At that point, I was doing poetry and my stories also. When I was in college, because I went to GCU for my bachelor's in secondary education for English. It was when I was doing my student teaching that the white principal that I was at inspired me to do something different with my writing. Don't do what everybody else is doing. So it was just constantly white people that was pushing me more and more to break every former boundary I had. It was always the black people saying, dumb this stuff down. The stuff that you see on my site, this is stuff that I was writing when literally I was 11 and 12. But I had all the black people telling me, dumb it down. We need a dummy's guide. This not going to work. How you make something more like Proud Family or Harry Potter, something like that. But the white people kept pushing me to excel and do more. And that's where you got Suggs verse, or Heir to the Stars. And as y'all see, it is an expansive, philosophical, and cataphysical narrative. And it transcends traditional storytelling framework. And what we do is we explore the boundless. We explore the maximal complexity. We explore infinite reality fictional differences. I test the limits of power, but I put a black face in front of it, because we don't have black people at high concepts, at high levels of intellectualism. So I use this medium to showcase that.
Gotcha. And so that's what we have when we go to your website. You know, you basically you put all this together, and that's what we have, correct?
So let me tell you. So the first page, like when you go to the first page, it basically is your introduction to my works. And from the bottom, when you go to the bottom of it, it gives you the storyline in a linear progression, kind of. But if people used to ask all the time, which one do you read? How do I read this? Which one do you want to do in order? Like, how do I read this in order? So I gave you a list on how to do it, but the books honestly can be read at any point. That's how I wanted them to be. Now, some are absolute storylines, but it's so many at this point. But when you go throughout the entire site, like when you go to Let's Imagine has a whole section where I'm just explaining the different concepts. You know, where I talk about like the ascending ladder of the mind, and it's like what y'all conceive as the mind, I take it and give you 10 layers above it. Or I got the descending ladder of nothingness. You have the concept of nothingness. Then I take you below that and show you non-existent, and then give you 10 layers even less than that, more subtractive than the last. Right. I tell you about what the characters are, regular standard characters are made of, and their particular particles, which I've had to create. Everything here is just sheer conceptualization, constantly creating. The personas section is for just standalone stories for individual characters. The art gallery is where you can literally purchase the books. The Cosmic Legion is the cosmic ensemble of different story layers. So essentially, in layman's term, like how you and me are talking, how we're in this world, this would be Universe 1. And all of that would be in the Heir to the Stars verse. So it'd be infinite universes in that. But then when you go to Heir's Ending, you have a whole another set of infinite universes that has different stories in it. So that's what the Cosmic Legion is. Now, again, that's the nicest way to put that, but it's colossally bigger than that.
Gotcha.
So that's what the site is. It is literally your guidepost to everything that's the Suggs verse.
Gotcha. And if you guys didn't get it, this is all the Suggs verse. You know what I mean? This is all that my man has put up on his website. This is all the Suggs verse. You know what I mean? Y'all go check it out, man. I'm telling you, dude has got a phenomenal concept. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. I
appreciate that, man. Thank you.
So tell us, you said basically we can find your content, and we can find your content. We can find all of your concepts and so forth anywhere, correct?
Yeah. You can now, in terms of heirtothestars.com, yes, you can find that there. I literally have a terms section that goes for that also. So it's a bunch of terms. I know a lot of people be like, I don't know what this is. I got to look it up. I have a term section that tells you what it is. The TNTOG section is for Suggsverse exclusive terms, to give y'all examples on what that is. Now, I have a wiki. Now, the wiki was done over a decade ago, and it's just basically a whole ton of character profiles. Now, that's where you're going to see a lot of my black and white art, where I was just hand sketching but never coloring. And it takes forever to shade characters. That's why most of them just black and white, because it hurts your hand trying to shade everything. Right. So that's what the wiki is. So if you want, it's over 1,000 pages on there. And if you go off of there, you'll go to Reddit. Now, I don't have my own Reddit, but my haters have done it for me. Plenty of haters on Reddit. Oh, they hate me. But again, you type me up, you will find me immediately.
Damn.
But
Shout out to Fred, my big bro. What's going on? What's going on, Angelo?
The wiki, the website, and YouTube is where you're going to find the most information, mainly because I manage that one personally.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you. All right, man. We got your links in the chat. Lionel Wiki. We got y'all follow my bro on Instagram. Urban posted. That's how you find my boy on Instagram. Just in case y'all single women want to slide into the DM. And so, yeah, Joe puts his wiki up there. So, I tell you what, we're going to have a couple more commercial breaks. We'll give your final thoughts on everything, bro.
Right.
And then we're going to end this thing because I don't want to have an open panel or anything.
You're good.
This is your time or whatnot. So, we're going to get a couple commercial breaks and then we're going to get your final thoughts, bro. So we will be back. All right, man. Shout out to T-Cat. Y'all go subscribe out to T-Cat. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Tap In Podcast with my sis. It's just ETV and myself. We are going live tomorrow night, Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. It's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Y'all go check us out. Y'all tap into us. 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Be there, be square. We got a hell of a show for you guys. All right. So if you have not hit the like button, hit that like button. Share this live stream. Awesome live. Bro, I appreciate you coming through.
I appreciate being up here.
It is an honor to have you up here to tell your story the way you want to tell it. If we inspired anybody, man, if we that's what we're here to do. But you got any? The floor is yours. You got any last words in this?
So I definitely want to say that I understand why people make excuses, and I do. And I'm not going to be the one to tell you don't do it, because I'm also someone who wants to hear someone's story before I just automatically do that. Like, what's going on? Because you don't know how events have impacted you. And we say things way too easily without understanding what's happened to the psyche of someone's mind. And like, you don't even have to, I don't even have to use my mom as an excuse, you know, as someone who was, you know, abused when he was 3 years old. This is a situation that I don't just openly bring out, but I remember as someone who's been violently abused as a child on numerous accounts, because the streets suck. The reality is, I know I'm jaded, but at the same time, I'm also very understanding. I could make excuses, but life taught me I can't. But I also know someone else's life taught them that they could.
Right.
And I'm very understanding of that also, but I also see how people lack sympathy. People say that they have it, but I don't know if people see themselves in real life. Because me and my mom grew up in a world where sympathy was almost non-existent. Doesn't matter how many adults would try to take advantage of us mentally, spiritually, or physically. Didn't matter. Didn't matter where we moved, because we moved a lot in a decade up and down the East Coast trying to run away. And yet the demons just kept following. The hardships just kept following. And we had to be held accountable because, quote unquote, the adults said that we were old enough to be able to understand this situation. When, you know, because I got to speak for her, when you have grown men constantly telling her, you know what's about to happen, that she's been raped so much that she knows the situation before it happens. That's sad. But yeah, we sit here and we don't like to have conversations about it, because that could be someone else's child. That could be someone else's neighbor's child. It's not good. When I personally listen to men from all ages joke about abusing young people, the fact that I'm 5 years old and learning about brothels where they're selling little boys. This is a real world that's out here, but we don't like to talk about it. We don't like to bring it up. And then the people that do, they try to test you and be like, well, what are you doing about it? I've literally had grown men on these YouTube streets criticize me and be like, well, why didn't you stop these men from doing stuff when you was 1 year old? Literally, this is how these guys will talk, because they don't want to be held accountable. But they'll damn sure hold these little kids accountable. So then when you grow up and you look at the world a particular type of way, they're like, well, why would he look at the world like that? Or what's wrong with him? Or maybe he needs to get some help. The problem is, even if you say you got help, they criticize you and be like, it wasn't enough. You know, they try to tell you what your healing should look like, what your coping should look like. Because they're not even trying to understand. They're not trying to understand. They're not trying to sympathize. They're not trying to empathize. None of that. So it's why I tell people to be careful when they're given advice and contextualize it extensively. You know, try to break down. Just like in our group conversation where Big Bad E was like, this conversation has to be layered. When we were talking about what was he talking? Something. But she was like, it has to be layered. And she's right. A lot of conversations do have to get layered. But that's not the common conversation. And I learned that growing up, that conversations had to be layered. Hence why I had to operate a bit differently. But I was also the dude that was outside the crowd because people didn't want to talk to me. You know, not saying I wasn't the cool kid sometimes, but that's when I tried to fit in. But when I didn't fit in, it was because, y'all saying stupid shit. Or y'all don't see the reality. I listen to people and I always say that. Y'all have heard me. Y'all don't see reality. Y'all don't see what's happening in these streets. A lot of people live in their bubble, and that's fine. Because I personally told, Thug E that, I'm jealous that you live in a bubble. I love that she lives in a bubble and can watch things from the outside. I love people that can live in that peaceful state and can be in that bubble verse. I wish I could have lived in that bubble, honestly. Problem is, God wanted to troll me and my family. So I didn't get to be in that bubble. I got to see a little too much. I got to hear a little too much. And it does affect you. But people act like it's not supposed to. Like, hey, just get over it. If you have memories from when you're 1 year old and you're 35, about to be 36, what do you think you can just get over? You can remember every detail. Like, real story, one of my ex, she tried to kiss me on the forehead one time, and my immediate reaction was punching her. Now, it wasn't like a violent punch or nothing, but she tried to tap me in the head, and my reaction was literally a defense reaction. If that gives you an idea of how my life has been. My sister was even there, and she was like, yo, why was your reaction that? And my sister was like, why would you try to kiss him when he's asleep? But my sister understands the reality I've lived in also. And this is why when I'm listening to sleep techniques and whatnot, I've been a light sleeper because I'm on alert mode. I've had to be on alert mode from my brother, my mom. It's just how life configures itself for some people. But how often are people really trying to listen to you to try to understand? You know what I'm saying? And I do think more people need to try to listen to understand rather than automatically just casting that judgment. Because again, I know for a fact I give off bad first impressions. I don't give a crap though. Because people always warm up to me and be like, damn, he a cool dude. And again, that would be the one thing I would say that comes out of my life. Learn how to listen to understand and really try to understand the different worlds people live in. Because it does shape you. And if you're going to give advice, it's like, okay, dag, how can I give advice to this person? Because one of the people I was mentoring last year was a little white boy. He had been abused by his father, by his stepfather. He had been jumped and abused, all sexually. This boy got put into he was in group therapy. It didn't work. This boy is literally sitting in the corner crying, shivering, can't sleep at night, waking up screaming. Had to go to a mental institution because of how bad he had gotten messed up in life. And he just needed someone to help him understand. The therapist couldn't help him. It just kept driving him worse. But I got to mentor him and got him a little bit better. Gave him a little bit of easiness. He just wanted someone that could understand him. But we're all so quick to just pawn people off or tell them to have this advice, but we don't really think about what's coming out of our mouth. And it's great that if you have a triumphant story, share it. And I always say that too, share it. Someone needs to hear it. Because there's a lot of other people that's living in dark worlds and they need to hear triumphant stories. So that's one thing I definitely would hope y'all would take away from this. Because again, I don't look at my story as a sad story. It is a story of triumph at the end of the day. Me and my mom, like, it's a story of triumph. And that's honestly what I show in my books also. Nothing but stories of characters constantly surpassing themselves, constantly rising higher to live in a world of glory. And that's all I got.
I was on mute. I agree, DR. Excellent live, bro. Excellent live. I want you guys to do me a favor. If you have not subscribed up to me and this channel, go subscribe, but share this live, guys. Share this live. If you have a respective channel, if you know someone, share this live. If you know someone that needs to be inspired or needs to hear this, share this live. This is one of my, I've had several interviews or whatever over my year or so YouTube career, but this is probably my most unique and most powerful live I've ever had. You know what I mean? You know, Joe gave a great live telling her story, and this one right here, this is another one. You know what I'm saying? So you guys go and sub up, and y'all please share this live. This has been a great live. Y'all go sub up to my boy at the Suggs Verse here on YouTube. You guys go check him out on Instagram. You guys go check out his website and go check him out. Check him out on all panels and all platforms. Okay, so with that being said, man, we're gonna get up out of here, bro. And like I said, I thank each and every one of you guys coming out. And that's it, man. So with that being said, Lionel Suggs and SBK, we are gone.